Hello everybody and welcome back to the stream. It's Wednesday and you know what that means. It's time for Jump Around, our weekly cardio class, and thank you all for understanding my last minute need for a rest night. Yeah, it's been a wild couple of weeks. Just a lot of changes, good changes, but exhausting. And I definitely have a tendency, as many of you may or may not be able to relate to, of filling my plate up with everything under the sun and then getting completely overwhelmed and feeling like I dropped the ball on everything. And I have worked a lot on addressing that tendency as I've gotten older, and I definitely feel like I am much better at managing it than I used to be. But part of it is being able to recognize when I absolutely just need to hard stop myself and go, you need to take a step back. You need to take a night for yourself, because otherwise you're just going to explode. And that was yesterday. Yesterday was just, I was tired and overwhelmed and felt like I was dropping the ball on all sorts of things, and I finally took a step back and was like, I need a break for tonight. And it was wonderful, and it was exactly what I needed. And then I was able to wake up this morning and feel refreshed and feel excited and feel ready for class. So yeah, it's definitely feeling good. But just another reminder, as if I don't remind you enough, but I'm going to keep reminding you, because we remind each other of the things that we know that we're bad at frequently. What I feel like I've learned about human communication over the years, or one of them, because it's a very complex topic, but one of the things we tend to do is to communicate with people about the things that we want them to do for us, or remind people about the things that we know we ourselves are bad at. So, if you notice that somebody, if somebody has a tendency to write you notes a lot and, write you letters or postcards or things like that, then that may be that person communicating to you that their love language is words and that they would appreciate reciprocation. Or if you have someone who keeps reminding you about the importance of taking rest and of letting yourself just chill and recuperate, and of paying attention to not overloading yourself with things, then it's a fair bet that that's probably something that person struggles with, and they want to help you not follow down that path. So yeah, it is no secret, I think, to anybody who watches these streams that I definitely have a tendency to overload. I get very excited about a lot of projects, and it frequently happens almost simultaneously, because when you're energized, then you're like, oh, and I really want to work on this thing, and oh, I really want to do this thing too, and oh my god, this thing would be really cool too. And that is really wonderful and exciting. But you also need to be able to translate things into actions, or else it's just a lot of excitement that never goes anywhere. Oh my god, the fucking pounding. Apologies, everybody. The next door neighbors are doing a lot of construction to their house, and so basically, if you hear pounding, it's that. Hopefully it'll stop soon. I mean, it's 4:30, so I can't imagine that it's going that much later, but it's been all day. And it's been at least a week and a half at this point, so yeah, I don't remember noticing it last week, but I'm definitely hearing it today, so I think last week they were working on the fence. Anyway, in the realm of inconveniences, it is an extremely small one, and I am more than happy to put up with it. Oh my goodness. Hello, everybody. I hope that you're having a good week so far. This is jump around our weekly cardio class. I like having this class here because it gives us a nice pop of energy in the middle of the week, which I know I can definitely use. I've had a very, very busy couple of weeks, and I'm definitely like, you know, today was a great day, and you know, very energized and productive, which is awesome. But I'm also definitely feeling a little exhausted. So having our cardio class midweek, I think, can really help to just revitalize. And that's my goal, and that's certainly why I like having the class here. So if this is your first time, welcome. Hi. My message to first time class attendees is always this: I don't want you to give me 100% or 110% or 120%. I want you to give me the bare minimum, and that consists of 3 things: starting on time, stopping on time, and doing the exercise correctly. If you focus on just those 3 things and not on, oh, I gotta push myself to my limit, oh, I gotta go till exhaustion, oh, I gotta make sure that I'm really going fast. If you just focus on those 3 things, you will get an excellent workout, and you will hopefully want to come back, which is really the goal. Because if you come in and do a new class and you push yourself to your absolute limit, and then you're like, well, that was miserable, and I'm exhausted, and I'm sore for a week, and I don't want to do that anymore, it doesn't benefit anyone. Whereas if you come in and you're like, okay, new class, I'm going to take it slow, I'm going to learn the form, I'm going to learn the rhythms and the sequences, and then after I've given myself a few classes, then I'll start to ramp up as I get more comfortable with it. Well, then you're building a habit, you're building a practice, and that's what we want to do. That's why we're here 4 days a week, most weeks, unless I need an unexpected rest night. So yes, if you are new, please focus on those 3 things. Don't overload yourself. We're looking for lifelong practice of fitness, which means that we do not have to get to the top of any mountains right off the bat, okay? And it's going to be far more likely that we will be able to continue to climb the mountains if we allow ourselves time to move into the new structure. So, oh my God. I'm sure you can hear that. Like, that's loud. Anyway, it's okay. You know what? As I said, in the grand scheme of annoyances, I'll take it. And I really actually haven't been aware of it until right now, so that's good. All right. Well, I'd say it's time to get started, my friends. So let's go through our pre-class checklist. We got our water. Cool. Yeah, that's the important things that you really, as long as you can hear me, we're doing fine. Just don't get that knocking confused with the knock, knock, knock sound on the timer, which I don't think you will. All right, we've got our water in whatever vessel you use. I use my giant mason jar. Oh, I can tell that I'm a little dehydrated because I wanted to just keep drinking that water. Yeah, amazing. You know, lots of new stuff, and suddenly things like hydrating ourselves go right out the window. So you've got your water, you've got your comfy clothes, whatever that means to you, your mat or mat-sized space on the floor, and if you use a fitness wearable, now's the time to turn them on to high-intensity interval training. If you don't use a fitness wearable, that's totally fine. It is by no means a requirement. Again, I put it in the pre-class checklist because it's something I use and it's something I frequently forget to turn on. So this is more reminding myself than anyone else, but it is a tool that is helpful for some people and not helpful for others. So certainly do not feel like you need to go out and buy a fitness wearable. Absolutely not. All right, we're here. It's midweek. We're all probably feeling a little worn out, but ready to exercise, ready to get some energy moving and flowing, which is going to feel really good, I would say. So let's start with our warm-up. How do you like the new shelving unit? I wasn't sure how much of it was going to show up in the camera. Obviously, most of it. Yes. So I'm not quite as echoey this week, actually, which is nice. Last week, it was just like I was shouting across the Grand Canyon. So, yay, not quite as echoey anymore. All right. Glasses. Why? Okay, my friends, it's time for our warm-up. Hey-ya. So if you are new, we do the same warm-up across all of my classes, which is nice and convenient because it means that you will know what you're doing for the warm-up in each class, even if you haven't taken that class yet. Oh, that's not good. Hello there. Oh, phone. What you doing? What you doing, Ultra Timer? Sometimes you just like to be weird. There we go. Hey, we're okay. Technology has not failed us. And that's the important thing. All right, my friends. Get started on our mats, on our backs, 1 foot crossed over the opposite knee. And when you hear that horn go off, we will begin with hip rocks and bridges. Yeah, here we go. So similar to the advice given to first-time class attendees, the warm-up is not a time to go immediately for top intensity. It is a time for us to slowly but steadily boot up all of the systems that we need for exercise. So I'm not over here going, all right, I have to rock my hips up as high as they can go and bridge up as high as I can go. No, I am doing bare minimum movement, just starting to get my muscles engaged, starting to let my brain know, okay, it's time to send signals to the muscles that they need to start moving, starting to let my muscles know, okay, it seems like we are going to be doing something that requires more energy, so let's get those energy production systems going, and a little bit of active stretching, just warming up the muscles, getting them ready to safely do class. You know, you don't want to do a class like this from cold, basically. You want to have a little bit of a warm-up, and it doesn't always have to be this long of a warm-up sequence. This is about 16 minutes total, and you know, it's a good sequence because it sort of takes us through all of the different areas of the body and sort of gives us a chance to focus in on strength and flexibility in different sections. But you know, you just don't want to be going from cold muscles. That's another reason why we like the warm-up, because again, it's booting up systems. It's the reason that, you know, you do a quick jog around the block before you start that half marathon, you know, so that you're getting your muscles prepped and ready. You're letting everything know, hey, it's about time to do a thing, so I need to make sure energy's ready, signaling is ready, and we're good to go. All right? So, woo! Oh man, yeah, I am tired. It's, you know, and it's a good tired, definitely, but it's very fascinating when you're exhausted because you've been using your brain a lot, you know. I've had a lot of new things and new skills and process thrown at me in the last couple of weeks, and it's definitely like I haven't like changed anything about my exercise regimen. I'm still just doing class and going out for walks right now, but yeah, the added intellectual engagement definitely uses energy in its own right, and I'm feeling it right now. So that's one of the things that I'm hoping to get out of class, is just giving my brain a chance to rest a little bit. And you know, I can't rest all the way because our brains are absolutely participating in this process we call exercise. We don't want them completely shut off and not paying attention, because we need to be sure that our form is correct and that we're listening for teacher instructions and listening for timer sounds and stuff like that. But, you know, it doesn't have to be making any massive decisions, because, you know, all that sort of prepped in advance. So it is definitely a nice way for me to get to use exercise today as a chance to let my brain sort of chill out a little bit. Be like, okay, you've been working hard all day. Now it's time for the rest of the body to take on some of that work. So yeah, if you too have had sort of an intellectually stimulating day, then yeah, enjoy that. Enjoy that opportunity to get to just breathe a little bit more, and let your brain settle into a supporting role as opposed to the starring role, and that can be really nice. Oh boy. Man. It's been a dramatic day online today, I have to say. As a nerd and as somebody who absolutely loved Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel when I was growing up, it is very, very disappointing to see the final nails in the coffin of Joss Whedon. And, you know, none of this is truly new information. And that's the thing, that's the terrifying thing about so many people who are being brought to account for their abusive behaviors over the years, is like, for basically all of them, it hasn't actually been a surprise. There's been information for years, you know? And it's the same thing with Joss Whedon, and I've sort of slowly pulled away from him over the years as new things have come out, as, you know, his, when his ex-wife started talking about her experiences, and then Charisma Carpenter, you know, I started hearing some of the experiences she had on the set of Angel, and definitely started pulling back. And then just learning about Ray Fisher and how he was treated and fired, and then Charisma, you know, adding her voice back and being, you know, reiterating her story and being very clear and unequivocal about it. It's just like, there is no excuse for abusive behaviors in any field. But there's a particular mythology in creative fields like film, television, and theater, where we have this, we've had this mythos built up around the abusive genius, essentially. That's not what we call it, but it's essentially what it is. It's the guy, and it's 9 times out of 10 a cis male, 9 times out of 10 a cis white male, you know, and he's a nightmare to work with, and he screams and he throws furniture and he berates people and he treats them like shit, but oh, aren't his shows so brilliant, and he's just such a genius, and that's just part of it. He's just a vibrant temperament, and that's just part of his creative process. And it's bullshit. It's bullshit. It is a way of trying to justify abusive behaviors in the workplace. And it is something that has become just something I will not tolerate anymore, particularly as I've gotten older, and just sort of thought more about like how terrible that we have this carte blanche for people to be horrible to others, just because we think that they're talented. Like, how fucking awful that we have ever had an expectation that that was okay. Because it's not. It's not ever been okay. And, you know, no person's talent is or has ever been so amazing and so unique that it justifies being an abusive asshole. Not a single person. Every single one of these people who, you know, we consider to be talented, who are being outed and called to account for abusive behaviors, not a single one of them has talent that is irreplaceable by people who also are kind and not shitheads to their employees and their creative staff. And it is well past time that we get rid of this mythology, that we get rid of this carte blanche to act like an ass just because you made a good TV show. And it's like, how many people are just as talented but were abused so badly by assholes like Joss Whedon that we never got to see the work that they would have made because they left the industry, because they decided that that wasn't worth it. It's horrifying to think about all of the incredible art that we have missed out on because of experiences like that, because of people like that. And I am glad that we are starting to see even the shadow of consequences for people. Like, good. It's not enough, and it's not comprehensive enough. There are still far too many abusers, whether that's workplace abusers or accused rapists, or, you know, domestic abusers, what have you. There are still far too many of them just getting to go about their careers as if nothing's wrong, never having to face consequences for their actions and for their behaviors. And it's not right. And, you know, it's really tragic for me because Buffy and Angel were both really influential shows. Buffy in particular, you know, was a show that did help me feel stronger and sort of take charge of my own power in a lot of ways. And did that for a lot of people. And it's really hard to have to be like, all right, but now I do have to reconcile my love of the show with the abusive person who created it. And that's hard. And, you know, I'm certainly not not the only person going through this. And this isn't even the only fandom that's had to go through this. I mean, she who shall not be fucking named has put the Harry Potter fandom through the goddamn ringer with her bullshit transphobia and turfdom. And, you know, for the millions of people who love that series, who were inspired by it, who were taught by it to fight for justice and to care for one another, to have to then reconcile that love and the good that the series did do with not only the awfulness of the creator, but then going back into the series itself and examining the things that you allowed yourself to blow past. I have no doubt that rewatching Buffy the Vampire Slayer would bring to light a lot of really awful and problematic themes that I missed the first time around through my various privilege points, you know? And that's a hard thing to come to terms with as well. But it's incredibly important that we do so. It's incredibly important that we are willing to take that stand and to go, you know, I stand with the people who have been abused and marginalized. I stand with Ray Fisher and Charisma Carpenter and everybody who may have been on the receiving end of that behavior. I stand with Kai Cole, his ex-wife, who detailed some really shitty stuff from when they were married, you know? Because no show is so good that I will overlook shitty behavior, and no creator is so talented that they get a pass on abusing the people around them. It's just not going to happen, and it's definitely something that my attitudes have changed on over the years, which is interesting and sort of sad to think back on the things that I was okay with when I was younger, in terms of like buying into the abuse of genius mythos. But not anymore. It's not okay. This shit will not fly. I know at least one of you knew what I was referencing. Woo! All right, let's get some water, my friends. Oh yeah, water. Is there anything better? I don't think so. All right, we're going to do a lot of tabatas today. 30-second work intervals, 10-second rest intervals. We're going to do 2 exercises, just going back and forth. There'll be a couple of short, super guided intervals at various points, and I'll obviously let you know where they are. But for the most part, I'm doing an a la carte class today. I'm just doing exercises that I think are going to be fun and that I want to do. And I'm the teacher, so I get to do that. Woohoo! Oh no, they've gone mad with power. Mwahaha. Okay, let's see here. Let's start with good old high knee runs. So our first we're going to have high knee runs, so a cousin of the Flaming Scarlet, but we don't have to have our arms in that V for victory. We're still trying to get those knees up above the crease in the hips, okay? And then the other exercise is just going to be push-ups. And again, you can do wall push-ups or put incline push-ups off a piece of furniture. You can do full plank push-ups. You can do push-ups from the knees. You can do plank, half wave. You can do full wave, okay? The only non-negotiables, shoulders directly over wrists, okay? And as you go down, keeping those elbows in, glued to your sides, okay? So they're not fanning out like that, alrighty? So, high knee runs and push-ups, 30-second work intervals. So a little bit longer than the traditional 20-10, but not too much longer, right? Alrighty, and that sound did not mean go. That sound means get ready, get in position, because as soon as you hear the fanfare, you are moving, all right? So going back to starting on time and stopping on time, that's a big part of it, and that's why we have these really distinctive timer sounds, because while the timer is running, it is in charge, all right? I may go off on tangents, I may miss the sound, I may be thinking about something else, so it is up to you to listen for the timer sound and to make sure that as soon as you hear that horn, that fanfare, that you are going, okay? And stopping on time means that we want to keep going until we hear that ending sound, okay? So we want to try not to stop doing the exercise or throw little, like, sneaky little breaks in there, which we've all done. And again, I'm going to focus on challenge discussion right now, but you know your body best, and if you're like, I really need to take a quick break here, I just can't hang on to the form, you know what you need to do, and that's okay. But yeah, so starting on time and stopping on time, those are the focus points. We want to start with the fanfare timer, and we don't want to stop until we hear the air horn. So when you get those two things down, then you are in a really good position for class, okay? And sometimes you have to build up to that. And that's totally fine too, you know? Sometimes it'll take you a couple of classes before you're like, okay, I can actually keep moving for the entirety of this duration of timer. And that's fine. Again, we are not trying to get to the top of the mountain on our very first class, all right? It is far more important to me that you learn how to listen to your body, that you focus in on form, and that you are being really deliberate with yourself and your actions as you go along and as you build as an athlete, okay? So all things to keep in mind as we're heading along. All right, trying to get those knees up as high as we can, okay? Preferably up above the crease in the hips. Again, you may have to build to that, but just keeping in mind that it's not a low trot. It is a nice lift of the knees each time, okay? And now, here in our push-ups, all right, check in on those elbows. Are they still staying nice and glued to your sides as you go down and up, okay? So we want to make sure that we're maintaining form the whole time. So you're last set. Right now you're going into your last set of high knee runs, and then you'll have your last set of push-ups. And your last set should be just as strong on the form as your first set, okay? So make sure that you're paying attention to that. Make sure you do that check-in at the beginning of each set and go, all right, where's my form this time? What have I maybe lost? What do I need to pay attention to again? Okay? All right. Final set of push-ups. One thing I like to remind people of, do not be fooled by pop culture references that try to convince you that doing push-ups from the knees is too easy, or, you know, girl mode or bullshit like that. Do push-ups from whichever position you need to, and you will still get an excellent friggin' workout. All right? I do push-ups from the knees every time. And part of that is because I have to be able to talk while I'm exercising, so frequently because of that, I'll take down the difficulty of something. But also, it is still just as intense for me as doing those push-ups from a full plank would be. So don't ever let people shame or bully you into doing things you know you're not ready for. All right? It's BS. Everybody's at their own pace and their own place in this journey, and nobody should feel bullied into doing something dangerous or harmful to themselves just to try to get ahead with their fitness, okay? Oh, I love water. Water is great. All right. We're going to do one of those ultra guided sets that I tease. It's just a 2-minute set, but it is the most locked down thing that I assign, because not only am I telling you what exercises you're doing, not only am I telling you when to switch from exercise to exercise, I am also going to be giving you a rhythm to do the exercises on. So there's going to be 2 of them, squat jumps and toe squats. So squat jumps, we're taking our feet somewhere between hip and shoulder width apart, and squatting down and jumping up and landing back in that squat position. So we're going to do 5 squat jumps on the rhythm that I set. So, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. And then we're going to do 4 toe squats. So feet hip width apart, keeping your back straight up and down, squatting down until you can't go any further, then letting the heels come off the ground, going all the way down to the bottom, and then back up. And we'll do those on a 2 count. Down, 2, up, 2. Okay? So everybody on your mats, I'll set the rhythm and I'll tell you when to start. Okay? So 5, 6, here we go. And jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and back, 2 jumps, and jump, and jump, and jump. squats, down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and back, 2 jumps, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats, down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and that's a wrap. Good job. Woo! Yeah. That is definitely an interesting one to do. We're very used to, I'll give you the exercises and I'll give you, the timers, but within that, we're used to setting our own pace. So there is definitely a special intensity to not only having to follow my exercises, not only having to follow my work intervals, but also having to follow a cadence that I give you. So well done. Make sure you're drinking some water, all right? I'm starting to fill the shelves with exercise paraphernalia. So I've got like completion medals from various half marathons that I've done. I've got my boxing gloves up there. The one set of dumbbells that I own. So lots of stuff, lots of weird stuff. All right, we're gonna do another tabata. 2 exercises, all right, same as before. And first thing we're gonna do are jump ropes, okay? So you don't have a jump rope, that's fine, neither do I, but I do have my imagination. So we are going to recreate jumping rope without the jump rope. Da, da, da. All right, the beauty is you don't need to worry about stubbing your toes on the jump rope, okay? And then the second exercise is going to be turtle jumps. So rolling up on the shoulders, then up on the feet, okay? Remembering that you can use a hand to help push yourself up if you need to, but I really want you to try to use the momentum of the movement to get you up on those feet, because it's just going to make the exercise easier. So roll up and jump and repeat. All right? So basically just tumbling around on the floor. All right, so jump ropes and then turtle jumps. So lots of jumping this time around. And 30 seconds of work to 10 seconds of rest. Once again. That sound does not mean go. Remember, yes, I do remind you of that every time, because no matter how long you've been doing class, every once in a while, your brain is on autopilot enough that it hears a sound and goes, oh, cool, it's time to start. And then you hear the knock, 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 and you go, well, damn it, I lost out on 10 seconds of rest that I could have had, and now suddenly I'm doing this exercise for 40 seconds instead of for 30. So I will always remind you of that, or very frequently remind you of that, just to help minimize the likelihood. And believe me, I've done it too, where I'm just confidently going along and doing the exercise, and then I hear that knock, 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 and I go, well, crap, there's no point in stopping now, because by the time I stop, I'll have to start again. So I guess I'm just in it for an unexpectedly long haul. And, you know, there's nothing like having that experience to make you go, all right, I need to pay attention now. All right, second time through. So back to those jump ropes. There's not a ton of form stuff to talk about for them, particularly since we are not actually using jump ropes. But I do want you to check in on your core. Basically everything we do, check in on your core while you're doing it. This is such an amazing stabilizing muscle group. And even with something as seemingly simple as jumping up and down, it helps to keep everything together and lined up so your limbs aren't going in a bunch of other directions that you don't expect them to, okay? And then here in the turtle plank, you know, when you're rolling up onto your shoulders, you have to have your core contracted because that's what's creating the roundedness in your back that allows you to roll up and then roll up onto your feet and get that momentum going that you then take through to whee, jumping all the way at the top and then going again, okay? So our cores are just such critical players in everything that we do. And I mean, it's no secret to any of you how much I love core exercises, but it's also just a really good muscle group to strengthen. And it can be far too easy to overlook it, you know, or as I've said before, to not actually be using that muscle group for exercises, but instead inadvertently compensating with other muscle groups because you don't have the strength built up yet. So it's just a really great muscle group to work on, and I definitely like to focus on it. Now, to be clear, having strong abdominals and having the stomach of a Marvel superhero are not two things that have to go hand in hand. So if you have incredibly strong abdominals that have a big layer of fat over them, you still have incredible abdominals, okay? Just because you're not able to see the shape of the muscles means absolutely nothing for the actual strength of your abs. And, you know, it's becoming, I think, a more widely known secret, but all of these superhero films and all of these, you know, photo shoots and stuff where we see these like six-pack abs, I mean, when you're flexing actively, you can do almost anything. That's not how anyone's abdominals look when they're just moving through the world as usual. But B, frequently, in order to get that degree of definition, there's a lot of questionable eating habits that have to go into it, and also dehydrating yourself. So it's not worth it, all right? It's not worth it. If you have the badass core, that's awesome. That's the important thing, all right? And it is so far too easy for exercise and body image stuff to go too hand in hand. And the fitness industry plays into that. Our society plays into that. There's a lot of fat phobia that gets really bullshit science applied to it, but then people believe that they're being objective when they say that, oh, you know, being fat automatically means you're unhealthy or automatically means you're at higher risk for X, Y, or Z. And it's kind of on the same lines as all of the scientists back in earlier centuries of this country who desperately tried to use whatever bullshit facts they could make up to prove that there was some sort of scientific reason for non-white people being inferior to white people. And that's bullshit. It was bullshit then, it's bullshit now. And the attempted scientific holding up of institutionalized fat phobia is also bullshit. So just something to keep in mind. It kills me to see far too many people, you know, and people who I work with too. Like, one of the first things that so many people say to me is, oh, I want to lose weight, or, oh, you know, I'm feeling too fat, or, you know, like, I want my body to be like it was when I was in high school, stuff like that. And I'm just like, oh, my friends, your body is amazing. Look at the incredible things that it can do. It does not matter if you can see the definition of the muscles. You don't have to be able to see it for them to be amazing, for them to be doing incredible things. So yeah, it's something that I will always try to remind you of, because it sucks that there are so many fitness instructors and personal trainers out there, and doctors, and other medical professionals buying into bullshit. You know, it sucks. It really does. All right. And I don't want to be one of them. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm reading. So anybody who's looking for a really awesome anti-racism education book, Stamped from the Beginning by Ibram X. Kendi, is remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. It's a big book, so it's taken me a while to move through it. I'm almost halfway through, but it is a remarkable history book, digging into the history and development of racist ideas through the centuries, and how they were used to prop up racist institutions, and how even people who were working towards the goal of anti-racism were still propping up their ideologies on racist ideas. And that's an important thing to remember, you know. Something we talk about a lot is, just because you brand yourself as an ally does not mean that you're magically immune to racist thought, to bigotry, to misogyny. A lot of that stuff gets baked into us because of the society we grow up in, because of the way that history is taught to us. I don't care how liberal your family was. I come from an incredibly liberal family, and a family that has worked in the civil rights movement for over a century, and I still have so much racist ideology that I have to break down in myself, because I am a white person being raised in America, you know? So yeah, a good thing for us always to remember. And the same thing goes for being an ally against fat phobia, transphobia, homophobia, all of that stuff. We still always have to do that work, pay attention to our thoughts, pay attention to our beliefs, read, educate ourselves, learn things that we may not have thought of that may be in our blind spots. Okay? Important stuff. I'm rambling too long, but you know what? It's important stuff, so it's okay to take a little bit of a break. All right. What do I want to do next? I want to do some flying chickens. So it's the cousin of the jumping jack, right? So we jump our feet apart in the air and land them right back where we started. Out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in. And we're going to have our thumbs at chest height. If you wear a bra, just tuck your thumbs behind your bra straps and flap the arms. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay? And then second exercise, I was talking about core so much, so let's do some bicycles, my friends. So we contract the abdominals, and that lifts our chest and our shoulders off the ground. You're going to have one knee coming in towards the chest, the other leg extended but off the ground. Reach the opposite elbow to knee and switch, and just go back and forth, okay? So as you move faster, you might not extend the other leg out as straight, and that's fine, all right? It is not the most critical component of the exercise. All right, so everybody on your mats getting ready for flying chickens and bicycles. Breathing away. it's just fun to jump around sometimes. You know, that's the thing I like about this class. And I need to find even more fun jumping exercises. We've added a few new ones in recent months, but I'm definitely looking forward to finding a bunch of new stuff and starting to put that into class. Because, yeah, it's fun to find new exercises. I found a bunch of new core ones last week that I have begun integrating into class, which is super exciting. So, if you haven't seen those already, you will definitely start seeing them soon. All right, so for bicycles, the purpose of bringing the opposite elbow to knee is so that you have to engage the oblique and twist your torso a little bit, okay? So you're not just working the abdominals, but you're getting the obliques, which are on the sides, all right? So that's the goal. So you're gonna get a good chunk of activation down the center in the abdominals, but you should also be getting some nice activation along the obliques as well, okay? All right, back to those flying chickens, my friends. The most majestic of barnyard fowl. I'm sure I said that already. Even as I was saying it, I was like, I said this already, haven't I? I do wish I could own chickens. It's definitely on my list at some point to have a property where I can go full on, like, I've got chickens and I've got a beehive and, you know, growing lots of fruit and veg, good restoration agriculture approach. You know, not something I expect to have for many years, but someday it would be nice. It would be very nice to be able to, you know, raise creatures and just sort of create safe, healthy patches of earth. Particularly with the climate crisis, it's important for us to take care of the planet as best we can, both individually and as a society. And woo, it's gonna get more and more important, my friends. It already is super critical, to be clear, but yeah, it's definitely going to be one of the areas that we have to focus a lot of energy towards in the next decade. So definitely, you know, there are obviously things that we can do as individuals, but it's also important for us to keep in mind that the entities that are having the biggest negative impacts on the planet and on the planet's health are absolutely corporations. So in addition to the, you know, individual level things that we can do, we have to change at a societal and a governmental level, you know? And that's hard. That is the most difficult component of all of the work that we have to do, quite frankly. You know, not that changing individual behaviors is easy, because it isn't, but changing at a governmental and a societal level is critical for the widespread systemic changes that need to be made. And, you know, we've seen this year what happens when we don't have governments that are able or willing to do that. You know, we have seen so much unnecessary pain and unnecessary death and unnecessary disruption because the government was completely unwilling to take meaningful, definitive steps to protect its citizenry. And we've seen what happens in countries that did take those steps and took things seriously and really worked to protect people. And we've seen what happens in the countries that fuck it up, like the United States did. And it's going to be the same thing for the climate crisis. It's going to be the same thing for racial justice and equity, for trans rights and LGBTQA plus rights. It's going to be the same thing for defending ourselves against late-stage capitalism, breaking that down and building a more just, equitable society that doesn't, for some reason, think that it's okay for people to literally freeze to death because they can't afford a home. Yeah, that's where the bulk of the work is going to have to go. All right, let's do another quick super guided interval. So same exercises, same structure as the first one, 2 minutes. I'll be setting that rhythm and we'll do exactly what we did the first time, okay? So the exercises again, just in case you've forgotten them, are squat jumps. So up, down, like that, making sure that when you land, your knees are going straight over your feet. And then toe squats, all the way down and all the way up, keeping that core engaged to keep your balance, okay? All right, everybody on your mats, get ready. And 5 and 6, and here we go. And jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats down, 2 and up, 2 and down, 2 and up, 2 and down, 2 and up, 2 and down, 2 and back, 2 jumps, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats down, 2 and up, 2 and down, 2 and up, 2 and down, 2 and up, 2 and down, 2 and back, 2 jumps, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats down, 2 and up, 2 and down, 2 and up, 2 and down, 2 and up, 2 and down, 2 and back, 2 jumps, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats down, 2 and up, 2 and down, 2 and up, 2 and down, 2 and up, 2 and down, 2 and back, 2 jumps, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats down, 2 and up, 2 and down, 2 and up, 2 and down, 2 and up, 2 and down, 2 and that is done. Yeah! Woo! All right. Sorry, got a quick message I have to send to a client. That's what that alarm was. There we go. All right, perfect. All right, grab your water, my friends. We are gonna do one more Tabata. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Much better. Much, much better. Ah, my friends, this was a good class. This was a good class. A lot of fun. Bouncing around, getting our heart rates up a little bit, and just having some good old-fashioned fun. I enjoyed. I hope you did too. So we are going to do one more Tabata, and same thing, 2 exercises. First one, we're going to do aerobic knees. So we're taking our feet, again, about shoulder width apart, squatting down, and as we stand, we're going to balance on one foot, lift that other knee, and bring the opposite elbow to the knee. So we're getting a nice oblique activation, rotation, a nice twist, here, and then down, and here, and down, and here, okay? And just going back and forth. So again, getting those obliques in on the party. And then our second exercise is going to be burpees, which I know you know how to do because we do them every class in our warm-up. So remember, we're doing a wave push-up, not a plank. Remember, nice big victory clap up at the top. And remember, this is our last time through, so we really want to push ourselves for a little extra intensity. Alrighty, everybody on your mats. And let's get ourselves ready to finish up class in style. Then just have a little bit of stretching. Alrighty, so knock, knock, knock. We're starting with those aerobics knees. Get ready, get set, and starting on time. All right, so you should feel that oblique activation each time, okay? And you'll also feel the activation of the abdominals as a whole because we're standing up into a balance. And so we need our abdominals engaged to help us balance on that one foot. All right, so it's a whole cohesive unit, putting all of that together. And now for our burpees. So you jump back into a plank, but then you do that wave. And then you want to jump your feet forward. So you have to have your shoulders nice and strong and stable so that they can guide your legs forward, okay? Anytime that we're balancing up on our arms and moving the rest of our body through space, we need to make sure that those shoulders know what they're doing, that they are strong, that they are not wobbling around, that we're not going to let that ball and socket joint come apart in any way, all right? Whew. So always check in on that. It's another area that I frequently focus on because a lot of times we do not get enough focus on strengthening and stabilizing our shoulders. And they are such an important joint. And they do so much for us that we don't necessarily notice until we end up with a shoulder injury. And then we're like, well, crap, my shoulder appears to be really important to so many things that I do, and I had no idea. And now I know, and I wish I had known before. So definitely one of those things that I try to focus on as much as I can so that nobody ends up in the position of not realizing how unstable the joint is until they injure themselves and then start to learn about the importance of stabilizing, strengthening that joint. All right, so it's one of the big ones, And it's where most of my own chronic pain comes from. So it's something that I talk about a lot because I know how frustrating it is. And, you know, as a fitness instructor and as a rock climber, the last thing that you want are shoulder injuries. So it is something that's been really incredible for me to strengthen my shoulders over the last year. Something I'm really grateful for. And it's definitely something that I want to help other people address before it becomes an issue. All right, heading in to our final sets. So checking on that form. Is it just as good now as it was at the beginning of the set? All right, how are your obliques doing? Are they still engaging, still twisting, rotating the torso, helping to maintain the balance, all right? And now we finish out with our burpees, something we all know, something we all, well, don't necessarily love, but hopefully come to appreciate. A wonderful way to cap off class with that awesome victory clap, reminding ourselves that we are strong and powerful and that we can get out there and do whatever we want. All right, good job, friends. Woo! Okay, what are we gonna do for stretches? Oh man, you know, okay, I want you to sit back on your heels for a second, all right? I'm not going anywhere yet. I'm just, my legs are folded under me, and I'm just sitting up on my heels. So you may feel a little bit of a stretch in the quads. Awesome, okay? And let's actually take a child's pose. So bring your knees to the edges of your mat, okay? And then just bring yourself forward. We want to flatten that lower back towards the top of the thighs as much as possible. Extend those arms out in front. And we're just going to relax here. And we're going to take 4 deep breaths. All right? Here we go. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And 4. And back up to seated. Bring your legs out, stretched in front of you. All right. And we want them as straight as possible. Knees as straight along the floor as possible. Okay? And we are going to reach out and fold over the tops of our legs. So we're going to get a nice hamstring stretch. I want you to move slowly, okay? We don't want our brain trying to activate any of the muscles, because when it does that, it tells the muscles to contract. And when we're stretching, we want the muscles to lengthen, okay? So reaching forward slowly, letting myself fold over. As I get folded over, just taking one hand to each quad, shaking it out just to make sure that I'm not clenching those muscles, okay? Oh yeah, and if you ever need help in trying to keep your legs straight against the floor, if you have like a foam roller, you can lean over that and use that to apply a little gentle pressure to the legs just above the knees, and that will help to keep them nice and lengthened and stretched out, all right? And let's take those 4 deep breaths again. Here we go. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And 4. All right. Back up. Let's lay down on our backs. Bring our knees into our chests. Wrap your arms around them. Just hug your knees into your chest. Let yourself rock back and forth just a little bit. My God, there's still light outside. I'm not used to that. We must be heading towards spring. Wild. All right. And now, release the knees. Bring one leg extended along the floor and bring the other knee straight across your body. So we've got that nice twist in the spine. I want you to keep both shoulders on the floor, arms extended, okay? And you don't want the back shoulder lifting up. So one of the ways that you help prevent that is by turning your head away from the knee, okay? Looking back towards that other arm, and that will help you to keep that shoulder flat on the floor. And now we're going to take 4 deep breaths here. Here we go. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And 4. Turn your head back towards the ceiling. Bring that knee back in, other knee to meet it. Wrap your arms around them. Rock back and forth. And now same thing, other side. One leg down along the floor, other knee coming right across the body. Oh yeah, feeling that nice stretch in the spine. Look back away from the knees so you can help keep those shoulders flat on the floor. And let's take 4 deep breaths. Here we go. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And 4. Head back up towards the ceiling. Bring the knees in. Rock back and forth just a little bit. And then let yourself roll over to one side and push yourself up. Get your glasses if you've left them on the top of the bookcase. And I'd say we are done. All right. What a good class, my friends. What a good class. That felt really nice. That felt really nice. I'm glad I took last night off. I definitely needed that. And I'm glad we had class today because I definitely needed this too. I'm feeling that pop of energy. I hope you are too. It really is remarkable, but it also makes sense when you think about it. That exercise can energize us because the act of going through a class like this is ramping up our body, breaking down fuel into energy, okay? And so we have all this extra energy now flowing through our bodies. So it's one of those things that feels counterintuitive until you think about it a little bit more deeply, and then you're like, no, this actually makes sense, I think. And it's something I always appreciate, you know, just the way that exercise can really re-energize you and reinvigorate you. Yeah, so when you are able to use it, it is an incredibly powerful tool for health, for physical health and mental health. And mental health is never so simple that it's as easy as just take a class or just get up and do some jumping jacks, all right? It's not that simple, and anybody who tells you that it is has never dealt with mental illness and doesn't know what they're talking about. But it can be a really good tool, and particularly when you are able to build it up into a more regular practice. You know, when you're able to build up a regular schedule, like these streams, for example, and you know, then sometimes I have to take the night off, but I have 3 other classes. I have the weight of almost a year of habit behind me, of knowing that on Wednesdays we wear pink and do jump around, and on Fridays we do functional home fitness, and that has been an incredibly helpful and critical mental health tool for me, and it can be for you as well. And it takes time to build up, absolutely, and there will be false starts. Again, nobody needs to be at the summit of the mountain right off the bat, and we have to remind ourselves of that, because we are really bad at expecting that we're supposed to be perfect at things immediately, and if we are not, going, okay, well, screw that then, which is just silly. Things take time to build towards. Nobody, absolutely nobody, is amazing and perfect at things right off the bat. Everybody has to work towards things, and we should honor that. We should celebrate that. It gives us so much more to learn, which is so exciting. So, yeah. All right, my loves. Well, I'd say this was a good class, and I'd also say that I'm looking forward to relaxing for the rest of the evening. Both important things, and I hope you are too. We have 2 more classes scheduled for this week. So on Friday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, we have Functional Home Fitness, where we do weight training using objects you can find around the house. And then on Saturday morning at 9 a.m., we've got the weekend kickoff, which is our awesome strength and stamina focused bodyweight class. So please join me for either or both of those classes. They're both awesome in their own ways, very different class structures, but really fun. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All of those handles will be in my end cards, but they are all variations on Blanche Case Fitness. My YouTube channel, Blanche Case Fitness, is where I upload all the VODs from these streams, so you never have to miss a class, even if you can't make the live cast. So definitely head over there and subscribe. If you want to help support me financially in making these streams, I do have a coffee account at Blanche Case Fitness. Your donations are always very much appreciated. And if you want to help me keep growing this community, getting us to Twitch affiliate, which we are so tantalizingly close to, then please do follow the channel. Tell your friends, loved ones, co-workers, anyone looking for an awesome class. I stream 4 days a week. We have a wonderful community here. And even if you're not up for exercising, come and hang out in the chat. It's a great time. And I love doing this. I love teaching y'all. I love, you know, talking about everything from pop culture to activism here, and it's just so much fun. So I hope you keep joining us. I was going to raid my friends Cassie and Eric, who have a channel called Pixel Crimes Live, but I believe they don't start until 6. So unfortunately, I don't think I can raid them because I don't think they're online. But if you're looking for a stream to watch, a fun, nerdy video game stream, then head over to Pixel Crimes Live at 6 p.m. Because they're awesome and they have a great time. And Cassie's a very dear friend of mine, and Eric is an internet friend, I would say, because I hang out in their chat a lot. So yeah, I want to actually, I just want to test. I just want to see if they're online. I think it is 6 that they go online. But if for some reason they're already on, oh, well, my phone wants me to reinstall Twitch. So I think this is probably going to be a question that I will not be able to answer for today. But yeah, if you're looking for something fun in about 8 minutes, head over there. And otherwise, make sure to hydrate. Make sure to get food, have a wonderful shower, and I will see you all back here on Friday. Have a great night.